Live from 42nd and 2nd, this is New York's very own Pix 11 Morning News.
9/14, the last day of June, means it's the end of Pride Month.
Yes, and we do want to tell you about someone who has broken through with another first. Christopher Vergara is the first openly gay vice president of the Lutheran Church's Metro New York Synod with 190 parishes.
And he joins us right now. Welcome, Mr. Vice President. Congratulations on this elevation. Tell us, what does all of this mean, the rank of vice president within the Lutheran Church, within the hierarchy, and how does one get to this position?
Sure. So it's good morning. It's so great to be here. This is an elected position. So the Synod Assembly elected me at its last general meeting. As the vice president, it's the highest sort of ranking lay person in the Synod. And in Lutherans, we say Synod. That means like diocese for other traditions. And it's sort of, there's the bishop as the sort of highest ranking person in the Synod, and then there's the vice president comes there behind.
Okay, so you really grew up in the ranks there. Incredible. But this started for you back in high school when you were attracted to Lutheranism. During your journey, did you experience any discrimination at all because you were openly gay and Latino, excuse me?
Yeah, so obviously I grew up in New York City, so it's a big melting pot and there's a lot of diversity here, so you can always find your communities. And I just found that in the Lutheran Church, what I liked about it was that it was willing to have these conversations, that was willing to not shy away from thinking about how to include more people at the table and to be more inclusive of people engaging in the life of the church. And that is what has drawn me. Obviously, there have been times where it's been more difficult than others, but it's always striving, always the bend towards justice, towards inclusion, towards making more people feel part of the community.
And we do know that some religions are not as open and as welcoming to people and the life that they are leading and how they are identifying. What does it mean to be truly accepted in the faith, to be able to worship, to not face discrimination, to feel that warm, welcoming embrace as you are able to continue on your spiritual journey?
I think it's important, and I think it's important sort of how you said it, the first openly gay Lutheran VP, right? Because there might have been others who we just don't know about because they've had to keep that part of their identity hidden. And so we're always wanting, I think, as people of faith, of all faith traditions, to have people to understand that they are wonderfully made by God and that there are no mistakes, that God loves them just the way they are. And we have to do that work to remind other parts of our siblings, of other faith traditions, to do that work, to see people as loving, beautiful creations of God. And I think that's a place that we can do a lot of work together to make it open for everybody.
Absolutely. And Christopher, you have a beautiful platform. You've been actively involved in getting food to people in need. Tell us about that effort.
Yeah, so at the Metro New York Synod, we especially during the pandemic, we found we always want to be in service to our neighbors. So we have created food distribution where we literally got food vendors to give us food, and we would hand out food to people in different locations throughout the city who are in need. We have created, we do a lot of work with unaccompanied minors, so kids who were separated from their families at the border and in immigrant communities, and also with a focus with LGBT immigrants and providing services for them. Education is part of what we do. So a couple of years ago, we did a whole series, a festival of conversations, we called Queer and Faithful, about the intersection of being queer and the church, being bishop, queer and race, queer and service, all these things, understanding that they don't live in vacuums, but they are all interconnected. I did a whole segment on just terms to educate people about how to talk about gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation. So that's, I think, important. We try to do our advocacy work, our service to our neighbor in a variety of ways.
And as somebody who found the church in high school, as somebody who has been accepted and has been able to continue his spiritual journey, tell us what you want the generation behind you to see and to know and to feel as they continue their spiritual journey as well.
To understand that we're communities of faith are made up of human beings, and that they make mistakes, and we're growing and developing and trying to be better together, and that the work is not about becoming a member of a organization, but the focus is to be in service to our neighbor. And so if you're interested in being in service to your neighbor, to check out metronewyorksynod.org and find a ministry site near you so you can connect and really do that work in our community. Because I think it's really important, not only in the pandemic, but always.
Absolutely. That should be everyone's mantra, right? Being service to your neighbor. Christopher Vergara, Vice President of the Lutheran Church, Metro New York Synod. Thank you so much for being with us. Your voice is so needed and appreciated. Thank you.
And congratulations on the Vice Presidency.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Such an honor to be here.
Pleasure having you.